Live from Cool Boys Central.
You're the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
From bat tips to bat nips, we are just cool boys revisiting Batman, the animated series, and wearing hats. This is Batman and Beyond, a Cool Boys podcast.
I see Batman and Beyond.
Greetings, Cool Boy Bat Nation, and welcome to another installment of Batman and Beyond,
Woo-woo!
a Cool Boys podcast. I'm Ballard.
And I'm Steve.
So cool. Tonight's episode is The Strange Secret of Bruce Wayne, directed by Frank Parr, story by David Weiss, teleplay by Judith and Garfield Reeves Stevens. Didn't they do something really bad? Like, didn't they do they did a shitty episode if I recall. Was it the Nostromo one? Or no, it was Perchance to Dream, maybe?
I'll see. I like Perchance to Dream, I thought. So we deferred there. But they did Dreams in Darkness, Fire
That's it.
From Olympus. I don't think we've seen those.
No, Dreams in Darkness we saw already, but Fires in Olympus, if that's what you said, right?
Uh-huh.
Something like that? That's near the end of the season, of the first season. Anyways, I remember them not being a good duo, but David Weiss has some good story cred underneath his Batman filmography. He did
The Clock King. And
yes,
You're
which I
So
love.
Smart, Why Aren't You Rich?
Which is coming up soon, which is a great episode in which we finally get the Riddler.
You're so excited for the Riddler.
I really like the Riddler. I like riddles. I don't know. I think that's kind of fun shit. And I even like the terrible 1966 Batman riddles, like from the Riddler, which shit didn't make sense.
Listen to these riddles. Tell me if you interpret them as I do. 1. What has yellow skin and rice?
A ballpoint banana.
Right.
What? Like that doesn't make any fucking sense. All right. Well, this episode was released October 29th, 1992. It was a weekday. And then went primetime February 28th, 1993.
Wow.
So once again, this was a weekday first, primetime second.
Usually when they go primetime, it means that they feel like it's worth it, right?
Well, this one is definitely worth it, Steve, because this one has 4 of Batman's rogues in it. We have Hugo Strange, the Joker, Two-Face, and the Penguin. They all make an appearance. Obviously, Hugo Strange is the main villain. That's probably the most interesting thing about this episode. Wikipedia says, after a prominent judge is injured during a struggle with some thugs, demanding money from her in exchange for a strange tape. Strange tape. I see what you did there, Wikipedia. Bruce Wayne decides to take a trip to Yucca Springs, a resort where the judge had vacationed, and consult Dr. Hugo Strange, a psychiatrist. Wikipedia will correct you there. I think it was like Yucca Springs Health Resort. Bruce soon learns that Strange has invented a machine that extracts people's darkest secrets from their minds and transfers them to videotape. Videotape, Steve. VHS. The best format. And now Strange has proof of Bruce's secret identity as Batman and plans to auction it to
I thought it was funny.
Prominent crime. I'm not done talking. Hang on, I'm still reading this shit. And plans. I might leave that one in. And plans to auction it to 3. And plans to auction it to 3 of Gotham's prominent crime bosses. I wonder who those people are.
I wonder too.
Steve, it has some notes here. Based on the comic stories The Dead Yet Live and I Am the Batman from Detective Comics number 471 and 472 of August and September of 1977 by Steve Englehart. Another note here from Wikipedia says Doctor Strange's scheme in this episode was similarly used by the Riddler and Batman Forever. So once again, Batman Forever is taking content from this show and using it in their movie. The other thing was Two-Face being distracted by Batman throwing a bunch of coins at him.
Homage,
yeah, or they've just, whatever writer it was watching, because he had no access to comics at the time because he was like so busy and comics are, stupid. So in 95, he was like, or 94, 94 when he was writing it, or 93 when he was writing it. He was like, you know, fuck it, I'll just throw on this anime TV show. It'll help. It's like Cliff Notes. I'll go to the Two-Face episode. Oh, that's a good one, you know?
It was exciting to see all 3 villains together. I didn't really think
all
of Hugo
4.
Strange as... Well, Strange isn't like... he was like trying to scam, maybe, or, you know, use the
I
other
see, okay.
villains.
Within the context of the narrative, yeah, he's not a rogue.
Yeah,
but
it's like,
but he is an ancient rogue from like Batman's like history and comics, like from like 1940 or something like that.
They don't really use him a lot in the show. I think they use him one other time, but yeah.
No, they don't, and he's used incredibly well in the Arkham games.
Yeah, so I'm not too familiar with it because I didn't play the Arkham games.
I think he's in Arkham City. He's the big bad of Arkham City, and it is awesome. And it really shows how like Hugo Strange could be a fantastic baddie.
I did not really remember this episode too much as going into it. Like after maybe 5 minutes, I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember this episode." And I didn't really like this one. I'll just say that out there from the beginning. And it like had like a few fun ideas. I think that's basically all it was like they had this idea like, what if somebody finds out that Bruce is Batman and tries to, you know, auction it off to the villains, and having the villains come together and all be like a functioning unit, and you know, is kind of a fun idea. But it just was like, even for a 20-minute show, it didn't work for me. It was like they didn't have enough of a story to it. What did you think?
Yeah, I guess. It's not a great episode. I did like this as a kid. I do remember this one from being a kid. I mostly remember it from Judge Vargas. I actually do remember him yelling, "Vargas, Judge Vargas!" I remember that. And then the other thing I do remember is Hugo Strange. This is probably my introduction to Hugo Strange. I will eventually, you know, like we talked about, see other versions of him, like the Arkham version, which I think is much cooler. But this is like my knowledge of Hugo Strange started here, and it's kind of a throwaway episode, honestly. I do like that we find out, you know, this deep darkest secret, and it's like spilled, and he has to be clever in a way to kind of like defeat that. Like how does he hide this, you know, the secret that he cannot get out there, that is now out there? How does he fix that? How does he, you know, put the genie back in the bottle, right? How does he close Pandora's box? And that aspect of it I liked as a kid watching that. It doesn't make the episode great though in reality when I look back at it today. And I don't understand what is up with the writing teams on Batman the Animated Series. All these fucking like health resorts. Like, are they trying to get something across to the producers or the executives? Like, the writing team wants to go to health resorts for our writing getaways, you know, for our staff, you know, retreats. Like, this is like maybe the 3rd or 4th time we've gone to a resort or had some kind of resort mentioned in the actual show, and was not just only mentioned, it was a part of the show. I mean, we had Cat in the Claw Part 1. They wanted to put up a resort with bocce, you know, and it was a big deal. And then there was another episode where Poison Ivy was running another day spa resort thing, you know, that Alfred went to. And now that we have this one, so we're only 37 episodes in, and we've visited resorts now 3 times.
Well, it's like similar to Electrical Fires, and you know, there's been 37 episodes. I'd say maybe like 13 of them have involved somehow an electrical fire.
Yeah, electrical fire.
Yeah,
Steve, guess what?
Ended.
This episode has an electrical fire in it.
See,
that Batman starts when he bashes the computers in the recording room, in the control room.
It just has, you know, there's like so many easy motifs, I guess. It's not just a health spa. It's like anytime it's a vacation or something. Like someone disappeared and they came back different. You know, it's like that sort of easy sort of storyline.
Steve, could you call The Forgotten a resort where Boss Biggest runs it?
Almost. That could have been.
A working camp resort?
Did you just see Batman and Robin in the Batwing flying around? He's like, I think I need a vacation.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. What other way, Steve, can you get any kind of badass way to leave a meeting than to be like, yo, our meeting's over, Commissioner Gordon. I'm going to go hop in the Batwing. I'm going to leap off this ledge. I'm going to grab a rope. I'm going to get taken up to a Batwing where Robin, and that's just a name drop. You just do right there in the middle of the conversation, and everyone's just like, Robin, he just said Robin, you hear that? And he goes, and boom, we're going to fly away, and I'm going to get taken to Yucca Springs Health Resort because I need a vacation.
Now, Doctor Strange looks like a
Dr.
villain.
Hugo Strange.
He looks like a freaking villain from the get-go. Like, he's like, they started off with him just
for sure.
with this creepy, Stalin beard or whatever it is. And he's just
he looks like a Max Fleischer, like a villain, like a scientist from the old Superman cartoons, the Max Fleischer Superman cartoons. And I almost wonder if that's by design to some extent on the show. I mean, that is Hugo Strange's look, but they kind of hunch him up a little bit more and make him more Danny DeVito-like. So maybe.
Yeah, and they once again touch upon all the psychology, of Bruce and Batman and the shame and that he feels like it's his fault and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I still felt like this was just kind of a lackluster episode.
Oh, for
They
sure.
could have done more.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially since they only get 3 rogues in the end, and they get the 3 biggest rogues. Penguin?
Yeah.
Penguin's been in 1 or 2 episodes tops, maybe, and he's barely been in those episodes as a big character. Like, he's not even the plot device.
But he's been in a movie, so
that's why. That's the reason. Yeah, that gets him everything. Because I would say Poison Ivy's had more play than Penguin so far in the show.
Whatever his name is, the Scarecrow. The
Scarecrow, yeah. He's had 3 or 4 episodes now. Mad Hatter's had 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm. But those aren't, I guess, villains that care about his identity. They've had their chance to look at his mask and they haven't tried.
Oh, you don't know, Steve, because Poison Ivy. Come on, if Poison Ivy was part of that group walking in, that would have been great. That would have been cool, because then you're like, oh, yeah, look, it's even more. Give me more villains. Where was Josiah Wormwood? Mm-hmm. Where was Lloyd Ventress? Where was Boss Biggest?
Wormwood's
Where was
in jail.
Nostromo? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where were these people? We need them. We need all of these low-level, proper named people like Josiah Wormwood and Lloyd Ventress. We need those people. We need them. They make Joker look bigger and better.
So I like that, like we were saying before, the Joker basically died in an episode or 2 ago. And here he is, back from the dead.
3 episodes ago, I think. Yeah. Laughing Fish, yeah. He's back for no reason, no explanation. He's back. But you know what we get, Steve? We get an amazing outgoing message on his answer machine. It is fucking great. I love it. I fucking love his answer machine message with a person screaming.
Boy, did you get a wrong number. Leave your message at the sound of the shriek.
No, please, don't!
This somehow involves Daggett, though. They mentioned earlier on that this resort is associated with Daggett. So I don't know if Hugo Strange
I wrote that down. Yeah, Dr. Hugo Strange works for Roland Daggett. Yeah, so the resort is a subsidiary, Steve. That's correct. Yeah, they did say that. That Yucca Springs Health Resort is a subsidiary of Daggett Industries. So, yeah. Daggett again. Daggett Industries, once again, doing great shit, like hiring people to look into your dreams and then blackmail you based on, the horrible fucking thoughts and memories you have and all that shit.
He has to make back all that money on that lost new gen or whatever that
Renew You.
Renew You.
Or all that money he lost on not exploding all of the low-income housing.
Mm-hmm.
Or all that money he lost in not getting all the strays in Gotham, the 10% of the strays in Gotham infected with a toxin that would make you sick that he has the antidote to, that he would sell to you at a higher price than he would never need to. Yeah. Daggett Industries. I love it. And now we're seeing the the auction, of course, of the tape for Doctor Strange's auction. Doctor Strange's auction for all those rogues we spoke about: Joker, Two-Face, and the Penguin.
And so they all were on the same plane together?
They all show up together.
What was that plane ride like? That would have been a fun little... Like, they should do a side episode about how they all got to the same plane. And...
Just 20 minutes of them in the plane. That's it. Like a sitcom.
I would enjoy it, I think.
Perfect.
The Penguin's probably the most annoying one.
All right. Well, you know what, Steve? Guess what? I'm going to have a little pop quiz for you. Are you ready?
No.
Pop quiz time.
Good theme music.
Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Batman's secret identity is purchased by the Joker, Two-Face, and the Penguin. How much did they buy Batman's secret identity for?
I forget the exact amount. It was like 52 million and then 53 cents or something like that.
Close, Steve, but you are incorrect.
What is it? Is it like a funny number?
The correct answer is $51,240,685. And as you guessed it correct, though, 53 cents.
That was really close. I said 52 million.
You said 52. Pretty close, absolutely. You rounded up a little bit too high, but you were ballparking it pretty close considering it was 52 to 51. So, yeah. You know what? Something happened in this episode, Steve, that made me remember something I experienced with you a few times.
Oh, no.
So,
is this going to go back to you talking about gay porn?
See, I got a huge cock.
Gay porn? What are you talking about? I didn't talk about gay porn in this episode.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay. Well, cool boys, go to another episode.
You mean last week when we talked about Milo Notice? Play that audio back now, Johnny. Johnny.
Oh, I don't like this. Oh, did we lose somebody already?
We're learning about the very
Somebody's going out of here.
We're learning about the very intimate desires and fantasies that make up this complex man of men. So there's complexity. So there's like he's experiencing emotion because he owns this club, but he's like not part of the fun orgy.
This.
Are you sure he owns the club?
Jacking up onto it.
This is a lot of coming.
I think he's seen it.
He's watched it.
There's so much coming right off the bat. This is a big scene. This might be bigger than Big Guns 2.
Oh,
this is just the startup.
Yeah, no.
I don't like the kissing. Like that is a big issue.
Sure?
Look at those artistic shots. What is he doing up there?
Yeah, he's like Tom.
It's a handheld camera.
Yeah, it was handheld, huh? It's a dramatic scene. It's a dramatic shot.
We're sorry
Oh,
for the
sweating.
ruse, or I am, but
He is sweating.
this was what the Cool Boys podcast is.
Yeah.
Welcome to
That's
it
why.
live.
That's why I
Yeah.
don't listen.
Join us, won't you?
This is the fourth time we've done this.
We've also found out the first scene is usually the longest. It goes on for about 45 minutes. And then they try to do some plot, and then they do like rapid fire quick scenes of like a blowjob, an ass lick, and then like the big
When
grand
did they do
finale.
that?
Big Guns 2 was like that. It was a huge opening
Here's
scene,
the
right?
thing. The other ones had like us on computer screens we could switch off of without like oh, there's a lot of cum. But right here, this is like a giant TV in front of us. We're forced to like center around. Like this is much more intense. I don't know if I can do it on a TV like this, sitting casually on a couch. This feels very weird.
Part of this ruse thing was I was planning on having it synced on all the monitors I have here, so no one could look away from it. But there was no practical way to trick you like that.
Yeah.
Like because if
It
it's
would seem
Milo Notice,
very
you're like, I'm gonna
obvious.
put it all around you.
Yeah, I'd be like, why?
It's better for the sound.
Yeah.
I don't like how
This
many
is
guys
too
are in
much.
this scene, man. There's too
That
many
is
guys.
no way to take off your jeans.
Who's your favorite?
Stryker, clearly.
Yeah.
Dude, he hasn't really done much.
He does
Look
the
at that. He's
back-
doing
He's
like a
narrating
backhand.
this.
I don't know right what now. he's doing right now, but it looks intense.
What's
giving
going on with
himself
his
the
right
stranger.
hand?
Right. Giving himself
think
the
he was
stranger.
fingering his
I think he was
butt.
fingering his butt, yeah.
I think so. Who are these guys?
That's Milo and Otis.
Yeah, that's my little right there.
Those are good times, weren't they, Steve? But Steve, what I actually was referring to is you and I go see movies all the time together, and you did a couple jokes. They were your running gags, your ongoing jokes, and like George Costanza, with the Hindenburg exploding, and he yelled out,
That's gotta hurt.
and everybody freaked out and loved it until the laser pointer guy showed up and ruined everything. You did this. You did this thing. You did the same thing Joker does in this episode. You would be at a movie theater, and you would randomly go,
Focus, focus, focus.
and I would laugh my ass off, and I knew you were doing, Joker from Batman in the anime series, but because they'd used it in like promos and things like that. But I thought that shit was fucking hilarious.
I do not remember doing that.
Oh no, you did that all the time back in the day when we were like go see movies. You yell, focus, focus, focus. The other thing you did was you did the Grandpa Simpson when you would yell at the THX trailer like he did in The Simpsons. That was the other thing you always did in theaters as well, too. You're a funny guy, Steve. That's all I got to say. And you know what? Cool Boy Nation, it always brought down the house.
Yeah.
Steve's little focus jokes or turn it up jokes killed every time.
I would also throw popcorn. So I was a mixed bag.
Yeah, nobody liked the popcorn when you threw it like that. I think everybody hated that.
Oh,
it was always weird. Like everyone was like, "Yeah, it was real fun," until you start throwing popcorn, and then what happened? The problem was you would start throwing popcorn, and then Cool Boy Andy would start throwing ice for no reason and hurting people, and then like fights would start breaking out, and then you would get into like fights, but you would just knock people out. It was so fucking crazy. And then when the cops would come, you would just be on blast and be like, bow, 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 bow.
Wow. That really took a turn.
Alrighty. Well, so Joker does the goofy holler when he's like, crashing the plane. I love the goofy holler.
Oh, yeah.
Classic. Ah-hoo-hoo-hee. Yeah, fucking classic.
He's gone
I love
full Looney Tunes. He's like wearing this like jacket and.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of like Tiny Toons even and Animaniacs and that type of style. Yeah, like he's just pulling costumes out of nowhere, just like Bruce Wayne does. They really are meant for each other, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. I like how when they find out that it's Bruce, they just can't believe it. Even Two-Face is like, "Oh, that's retarded."
Yeah, you're an idiot. Why? But why? Why the fuck would Dr. Hugo Strange auction a tape off with the big fucking words on it or fucking letters on it that spell the name Bruce Wayne? Mm-hmm. Like you can see it from 100 yards and be like, "Oh, this is Bruce Wayne. Oh, it's Bruce Wayne. I don't need to spend $1 on this shit. It's Bruce Wayne, everyone. It's Bruce Wayne."
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and then of course, and everyone immediately like, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, that's stupid. That's stupid."
You stupid.
They're not.
What's 9 plus 10?
21.
You stupid. You stupid. You stupid.
They're not.
What's 9 plus 10?
21.
You stupid. You stupid.
They're not.
What's 9 plus 10?
21.
You stupid. You stupid.
They're not.
That's stupid. And then you think about it, it's like, why would it be? If you look right now, Batman's being driven around by Alfred, Bruce Wayne's butler. That's a little odd. A couple times he's done that. Like Batman is just driven around with Alfred, and there's been times that Batman's randomly shown up at Dick Grayson's college dorm room. But let's just, whatever. It's stupid to think it's Bruce Wayne.
Well, he does have Dick come, or he has Robin dressed as Batman. And so that does,
yeah,
dress as Bruce or whatever.
Yeah, dress as Bruce. Yeah, what the fuck is that? So, Batman or Bruce Wayne has in his costume closet, he has literally janitor Batman, police officer Batman costume. He has Thomas Jackson costume from like the Laughing Fish. He has Baron Yosek's costume from fucking whatever that Josiah Wormwood episode was. He's got, even a Bruce Wayne costume in his... Bruce Wayne owns a Bruce Wayne costume.
The way I imagine it is that he has some sort of like 3D latex printer.
Yes, you said this before. That's right.
And
of
he
course.
just enters in his computer like it's not like he has them all. He throws them away when he's done, and he just like
It's garbage.
and it prints out
Yeah.
a new mask. And I like in this one they actually explain how Robin was able to pretend to be him because he's wearing stilts. They usually don't explain how the body functions change. But they show Robin saying like, "Hey, look, I did a good impersonation, and it was hard wearing stilts." Ha ha ha.
I always love it, Steve, when Bruce Wayne was like playing like Thomas Jackson or Baron Yosik, and they're like 300-pound men, and he's just like all of a sudden has like he's fatter, he's putting on all this clearly this bodysuit.
I think he actually is using Clayface's stuff.
Oh shit! You're saying he's Operation Paperclipping it all? He's taking all the fucking bad guy stuff and turning it around and making it good guy stuff. Fucked up, crazy.
Yep, that's what's really going on.
Next week we're watching Heart of Steel. So that's fucking awesome right there, man. Because we are gonna now see stuff that you're talking about them doing molds. I mean, like tissue molds and skin molds and masks and stuff like that. We're getting into the Terminator world.
It's exciting.
So they're gonna kind of call on to those things that you were just talking about.
Kevin Altieri, another Kevin Altieri episode.
Steve, what are your boys for the strange secret of Bruce Wayne?
I guess I'd give it like 2.5 boys. It had a fun idea, but it kind of dragged, I guess.
2.5 out of 5 boys.
Do we always say? I don't think I've ever said out of. Do we say 2.5 out of 5?
I say at least I let the audience know out of 5 that it's yes. Wait, is your 2.5 out of like 100 or is it out of 10?
Yeah, it's always. I guess I've always based like a star system or a boy system on like a 5-star 5-point system, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. So I feel like most listeners get when I say 2.5. That
Felk and Corey are used to and prefer the 4-star rating. So the Roger Ebert, rating style. So they always like have to skew themselves for the 5 and do the math in their head.
Interesting. Well, obviously because I don't listen to Cool Boys, I didn't know that.
But you are a cool boy, Steve. You're Cool Boy Steve.
Mm-hmm.
You're what is your name? You're Cool Boy Steve from the Batman and Beyond, the Cool Boys podcast, Steve. It was amazing. All I know is your name for the episode where we pranked you with the porn. Was yeah, you had a great name for that.
That I gave to myself.
You gave to yourself. No, I think it's the name I like wrote for you. That's what you had to say. Play that audio now, Johnny.
Johnny.
Lastly, Cool Boy Nation, you can find Claremont's very own professional Batman aficionado, Steve, and all his hysterical hijinks and cunning commentary over on our brother podcast from Cool Boy Central, Batman and Beyond, the Cool Boys podcast. That can be found on podcast apps on your computer and cell phones. As always, you are welcome as fuck, Steve. #blessed.
Batman Beyond.
Thank you for listening, my cool bays. Stay cool, Cool Boy Nation. Until next time, it's Bizees from Heartwarming. Wait, what's wrong with this word?
You not say that word? Can you not say it?
Heartwarming.
There you go.
From Heartwarming Folk.
That's Bizees from Tail Thumping Ballard.
We have new names. And that's Bizees from Adventurous Escapades Dolly.
And then it says that's Bizees from Pugnosed Dorn.
That's Bizees from Pugnosed Dorn.
That's Bizees from Curious Kitten Corey.
That's Bizees from Curious Kitten Corey.
Because we watched a show about pugs and a cat.
We watched a movie. Milo Notice. And Steve, you're going to say, and that's Bizees from Steve from the Batman and Beyond show, Steve.
That's awesome. That's Bizees from Steve. Batman and Beyond Steve. Is that what he said?
No, Steve from the Batman and Beyond show, Steve.
That's a great one.
I think I got it.
This is the image at the bottom of every one of our documents. That's the origin.
That guy is wearing a hat.
I guess one thing that I did like about this, and that they kind of always seem to harp on, is the psychology of Batman. And so it did. I had some notes on here that it was interesting that it was focusing on his guilt and his revenge. To become Batman, and so those are interesting. Behaviors that you don't really see come out on a kid show.
Sure. I give it, I guess, a little bit lower of a rating. I just give it 2 out of 5 boys. It's not a great episode. It's kind of boring. The crux of it all stems on Hugo Strange having the secret, but we know he's not going to get it out. It's the idea that because this is a TV show and not a one-time movie based on a character that I've never heard of, unfortunately this is an IP, right? That is a character I have heard of, Batman. They're not going to just go and like drop a Tony Stark on us where they're going to be like, I am Iron Man. Like, they're not going to do the, Bruce Wayne's going to let everyone know he's Batman, and then the world moves on with knowing Bruce Wayne is Batman. So I know the secret isn't getting out, and so it's like that other episode. I forget what it was, Steve. Perchance to Dream, or Dreams in Darkness, when the one where he's in the asylum.
Yeah, no, I get your complaint, but I feel like
it's a hollow threat. It's a completely hollow threat, and so I'm never
interested
episode, by the time I'm in the second act. The second act is uninteresting, and then the third act just falls flat. When the third act should always get you rock hard.
Yeah. I feel like any episode of a kid's show of a Batman series is going to be kind of a hollow.
No,
threat,
I want to think Batman's going to die.
No
He's never going to make it.
Everyone is, in the end, he figures out a way to save the day. I think there's really rarely one that, it brings more to the table. But that's my. So I find that, that's one thing that just happens in every episode. Is Batman going to save the day? Yes,
Yeah, but when your plot is crux on the idea of like the secret's gonna get out, and I understand then I'm supposed to watch the plot line like, I wonder how he stops it. That just to me is uninteresting. Or I wonder how he gets out of the insane asylum. That to me is just uninteresting. And in general, those types of plot devices I just don't like. It's just my opinion, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, your opinion sucks.
Well, you know what? This is really great talk, Steve.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good way to end it. Good way to end it. Mm-hmm. I only say it's a half a boy better than you, and I'm taking offense.
I know. Oh, jeez. Great. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff, Steve. Cool Boy Nation. Tune in next week. Same Cool Bat time. Same Cool Bat channel. Cool Boy Bat Nation, be sure to let us bat know what you bat thought of The Strange Secret of Bruce Wayne, or what your favorite Bat episode is by emailing us at batmanandbeyondcoolboys@gmail.com. New episodes come out every Tuesday. Also, please check out our other great Cool Boy Central content with the Cool Boys podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Patreon. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Cool Boys. Also, review us on iTunes. You can donate to us on Patreon. It only costs $1, and you will receive special access to content too hot to air. You can find the Cool Boys on Patreon at www.patreon.com/coolboyspodcast. Thank you for listening. Stay cool, Cool Boy Bat Nation. Until next time, it's Byzies from Ballard.
That's Byzies from Steve.
See, I got a huge cock.
So cool.
Batman
and Beyond.
Oh, yeah.
Batman
and Beyond.
Oh, yeah.